to Fire Takes Podcast, where we serve up hot takes on the internet's most interesting stories, all through the lens of financial independence. And by we, I mean myself, Gwen, and our other host, Tim, my dashing husband.
Also known as the other host.
Also known as the other host, but that's not important, right?
It was, yeah. I mean, it was less glamorous maybe than I would have hoped for, but okay, I'll take it. I'm the other host. Oh, but also your husband. So you did recover. You pulled up.
Would you like me to redo it?
No, please. No, print it.
All right. Well, me and my other host, aka my husband, have a wonderful episode for you today. We are going to talk a little bit about the situation that we find ourselves in at the moment.
Yeah.
And then, of course, read some interesting stories from the internet.
We do have internet stories, but we thought it would be interesting to hear us give hot takes on our own situation. So let me kick that off. This is from the subreddit, not a subreddit, and it is me, 42 male, and wife, 34 female, have come into excess funds right now. We got in before the IRS shut down, so we got a tax refund. We've also been a little lean on our budget this month. So we have about $10,000 that we're trying to decide what to do with.
Put it all on black, baby.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I mean, that's one option. We've got to consider all the options. And we did spend $50 at the casino on the cruise ship on mostly roulette. And it wasn't that fun.
No.
I don't know that $10,000 would be that much more fun.
No.
So
actually, that would be way worse, I think.
It would be
the
worse.
The stakes would be so much higher.
Yeah. So our cash on hand situation right now, including this $10,000, is we have $27,000 in our checking account and $38,000 between high yield savings accounts, which are primarily what we're considering our emergency fund. So if we look at our normal monthly budget, it's about $10,000 that we budget for monthly spending. But if we were in a true emergency, if we were in a situation where one of us was working, I estimate a $5,000 budget. So from that, we're at more than 6 months of an emergency fund. If we wanted 6 months of our normal spend, we would want a little bit more cash on hand. That starts to feel like a lot of cash on hand, right?
Well, it's a good thing that neither of us are worried about our jobs right now because, we're definitely not dependent on the federal government for our jobs.
Yeah. No, we do both have federal government adjacent jobs. So we're not in as bad a situation as a lot of people. There's both people that are just getting fired. There's people that are, having to make very patriotic stands and resign from uncomfortable positions. And that is one of the reasons we like financial independence, right, is to be able to make those decisions whenever you're pressed. And I hope that some of those folks who had to make some of those tough decisions do have, or were put in those tough situations, have a little bit of backing, but I'm sure not everybody does, right?
Yeah. But that's definitely a factor in kind of the decision on what to do with some of this money. Is our taxable investment accounts could use a little building up, and we could always put more money into our Roth, through Roth back door. But, I'm pretty worried, honestly, about the state of the world these days.
Right.
And
5 months ago, this would have been no-brainer. I would have probably just thrown it in my taxable.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where, to support our retire early goals, I think that's where we need this $10,000.
However, now, given the state of the world in general, gestures vaguely. We're not entirely certain that's the best move because maybe more liquid money is more helpful in these days than money that we have to, work to get at a little bit and is somewhat dependent on the market staying up, right?
Sure.
It would be pretty bad if we put this money in the stock market and then the stock market tanked and then we needed money.
I think I'm looking at the situation of the world a little differently than you in a couple of ways, and I'll elaborate on that a little bit. So one, I feel we're kind of anchored to this location through my daughter, right? I'm not ready to to pick up and leave, I think I would take a lower paying job in this location. So I wouldn't anticipate a large outlay of money to sell our house, buy a house, relocate across the country to get another job in the next couple of years.
That's not what I'm thinking. I am so much more pessimistic than you.
Yeah. And whenever it comes to if we get even worse, right? I'm not built for the apocalypse. I am not. If we go Mad Max,
That's true.
I used to joke whenever during COVID, right, when the vaccines were coming out and people were joking like, oh, is this going to be what starts the zombie apocalypse? I was 100% team zombie, right? If this is a zombie apocalypse, put that in my veins. I want to be on the winning team, right? I don't want to be in a zombie apocalypse. I don't want to be in Mad Max.
I don't want to be the survivor,
right.
That's toughing it out. Like I like air conditioning and modern conveniences and boba tea and iced coffee, and Wi-Fi.
And I'm a little more optimistic. I think bad things are going to happen. A lot of people are going to be hurt, but there's enough inertia for the status quo that these numbers we have on the screen are going to continue to mean something for the foreseeable future. This too shall pass, et cetera, et cetera. And I had acknowledged, I am talking from a place of privilege here.
Immense privilege for us.
Immense privilege, right? And that is not true for everyone. And I hate that so many people are hurting. But I still think that between us, we need to plan for a relatively normal go path and worry about relatively normal emergencies that will come up.
No black swans, huh?
Right. Yeah.
Just the white swans.
Right. So I guess that's in general like where I feel like I differ from what is causing you anxiety. Right.
Oh yeah. No, I have a international relations minor and it is a curse to know so much about the inner workings of the government and like how we operate as soft power around the world, and to know exactly how much damage is being caused right now. Like, it's really painful. And a lot of people just don't understand because our government is designed to be complex and convoluted as another check against big government or against big business. So, if we didn't have big government, we would have big oil and big pharma. Oh, wait, we already have those. Oh, anyway, but
what you're saying is we've been sliding this direction for the last several decades.
Yes. Yeah, we have been probably about since the 80s working our way towards this very reality that's happening right now. A lot of very rich people who want to stay that way have a lot of vested interest in making this happen. The rest of us be damned. And I would say that there's also probably a lot of other rich people who have vested interest in maintaining the status quo and their own comfy, cushy bourgeoisie status. So we'll have to see how it goes.
So for us, what's your take on then what you think we should do with our $10,000 that we want to move into an account somewhere?
So my take would be to buff up our emergency fund and
put in the high yield savings account.
Yeah. And maybe pad out some of our other accounts like our home renovation account and our new car fund. That's what I think we should do because I get so worried that we're going to need this money for something.
The other option I kind of thought about was what about something that is a little bit more stable but still in our taxable, like a bond market fund?
Yeah, we could probably do that too.
Okay. Like I would look at what the percentages are. If it's an extra 0.2%, maybe I like the convenience of the high yield savings account. But if I can get an extra % out of a bond market, yeah, maybe it's worth throwing a little cash in there and maybe not keeping this much money on hand.
Yeah, that would diversify our holdings as well.
Yeah. And another topic I want to talk to you about, probably more offline, but we've talked a little bit about insurance and what we need to change in our insurance. And I listened to Stacking Benjamins this morning, and
oh, that was your first mistake. Yeah, just kidding. We love you, Joe.
There you go. And OG had mentioned, what if you change your homeowner's insurance deductible to be basically larger than the cost of a roof. And now you're only insuring your home from fire, right? And now your home
Or like
insurance
tornado.
is super cheap, right? You're only insuring yourself for the things you can't afford, right? Because if the roof went out on this place, it would suck, but we
Yeah.
could afford it,
Yeah.
right? And if we're not doing that, then we're paying for that roof every time we pay our insurance premium, right? We're paying for the percentage probability plus the insurance company's profit, right? So any insurance that we can self-insure might be a good idea. And having that cash on hand would allow us to make some choices like that.
That's true. Yeah, it's all about the risk that we're willing to accept. And I think probably gambling a little bit on not having multiple 10,000, 1 in 10,000 year events happening before we could replenish that money
Right.
to get back up to what we need. Yeah, that is an interesting conversation that we can have offline.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, with all that said, and thank you guys for listening along. If you guys have any feedback, if you guys have thoughts, takes on us, let's hear it. You put it on our Facebook page, send it to firetakespod@gmail.com. There are comments available on the webpage, firetakespod.com. We have a page dedicated to every episode you can put comments on. Yeah, anywhere you want to give us feedback, and we would really appreciate hearing from you and your thoughts on our situation.
Call us, beep us if you want to reach us.
Our first traditional story comes from the subreddit r Ask Men Over 30, and it's titled Girlfriend Gives Ultimatum. Need advice, all caps. So I've, 31 male, been dating this woman, 29 female, for almost 6 months now. I thought everything was going really well. We met each other's family for the holidays, but last night she starts saying that she isn't sure about us because I don't offer to pay things like her getting her nails done, getting waxing, etc. She says she doesn't feel safe in instances where she is struggling to pay for these things and I haven't offered. Also added that people in the past she has dated offered to pay for her nails, for example, after 2 dates. To be clear, I make a good living in finance, own my own house, we don't live together, and paying for things I described above are feasible. I guess I just wasn't offering as, 1, we haven't been dating for that long, and 2, she owns a business and has an income. She then extrapolated this to if we were to get married, that she would want to be effectively stay-at-home parent and wasn't sure I'd be able to provide for us. We had discussed in the past my preference that the mother of my kids, whoever that is, would be able to be a stay-at-home initially, but eventually I'd want them to back to work again. She previously seemed okay with this, but last night seemed like she wasn't. So as the conversation went on, she basically was saying that if we weren't on the same page in terms of money, then we shouldn't continue the relationship. That she had been in a 4-year relationship previously that she knew year 1 wasn't going to work, and she didn't want to make that mistake again. To be honest, I was blindsided by this conversation and thought we were falling in love. Now I feel like she's ready to just move to the next guy if I don't agree to this arrangement, which is pretty heartbreaking. Personally, I would not even imply I wanted to break up over a disagreement like this, and I said I felt that for her to even say that indicated this is a situation where I like her more than she likes me. She, in a roundabout way, agreed, which was also heartbreaking. Just needed to type this out. Everything was almost too good until this conversation, but feel like the proverbial mask slipped off with how she went about the conversation. What would you do? Feel deep down if I have any self-respect, it's over, but want other people's opinions.
Do these guys even read what they write?
You would, yeah. No, that's a good point. Like, he says, I needed to type this out, right? So I think he's seeing it. He's turning the corner.
Like, I'm confused if this woman wants a sugar daddy or if she wants a partner to marry and be in a relationship with.
I don't think that she's self-aware either, right? Like
Oh, yeah, no,
she's not, oh, I want a sugar daddy. She just thinks that things should be more comfortable. Things should be comfortable whenever she's in a relationship.
For her.
That comes with financial benefits of having this male provider that provides things for her.
That is literally the definition of a sugar relationship.
You think? I mean,
mean,
do you think that it's possible that she doesn't see it that way? Like that she's not so dedicated to the idea of finding a sugar daddy. That
no, she wants somebody to take care of her. Mm-hmm. And she wants that to go on forever. So that's like a marriage, right? And she wants to have that person's kids and be with them and stay at home and raise those kids, right? Like, so I think it's good for her that she is saying this at the 5-month mark. Like, hey, this is where I'm at. Are we still in alignment? And this man's like, what?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like at 5 months she's saying, hey, you're not meeting my expectations, which is good, right? Like you say, communicating.
She didn't say those expectations up front.
Right.
She didn't say, we've been on 2 dates now, you can do my nails.
But that's kind of why I think I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt that she's just delusional, or like that she's not seeing that she's exactly in the sugar culture.
Are we saying that she's just a regular old gold digger?
Kinda, yeah. That she just thinks that societal expectations are such that she should get things paid for her by a man, and that she's not. Because in a sugar situation, you would be more upfront with that, right?
Yeah. No, that's negotiated up front. Or it would be if the book I read is accurate. Not that I have any experience with that at all.
So I think I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. I feel really bad for this guy. This guy, I don't know, something about this girl is of value to this man, and I think she knows it, and she's trying to derive some personal benefit from whatever that value is that she is bringing to the table.
She got that power.
Yeah. Something is good. And then, like, this poor guy writing 5 paragraphs, and then getting to just need to type this out. And then I think you're exactly right. If he went back and read this, the mask, he said the proverbial mask slipped.
Yeah, the top comment is, she gave you an easy out, take it. Take it immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, run. Act like she's a haunted house and get out. Oh, jeez. I love Reddit so much. She 100% saw a series of stupid TikToks giving terrible advice. This just came out of the blue like that. But I mean, you know what? Yeah. That is true, though, that like, she could be like, hey, will you I'm going to go do my nails. Will you pay for it? Mm-hmm. Will you cover that? Or like, I want to get waxed. Yeah. You're going to benefit from that. Right. Will you pay for it? Yep. And she didn't do any of that. She was just like, I'm going to go get waxed. And he was like, get it.
Cool.
Like, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. You got your own money.
Use your money.
Use your money.
Yeah. And then, someone mentions, and she claimed to feel unsafe because of it. Like,
it's just manipulative.
Like, are you serious, lady? Does lack of shiny acrylic on your fingertips attract predators or something?
Yeah. When people show you who they really are, believe them. Yeah. And she's saying, I'm a bad, bad girlfriend.
Yep. Yes. A lot of people pointing out that he's very lucky she did this before they got married.
True that.
So, I don't know.
A lot of people get married and then the mask comes off.
Mm-hmm.
We know people who they are trying to fight the whole, we're going to get married and I'm going to be your stay-at-home wife. Mm-hmm. And they don't even have kids. Yeah. But she still wants to stay home. It's like, in this economy?
Right. I still feel like I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt that this is just how she was raised and she's being, deluded. And that's why she waited 5 months to bring this up. But yeah, agreed. Run away. You got lucky. Yeah. Everything people are saying.
It's an interesting comment. Said, what always shocked me as a man who had a successful career is that some of the women I met were indifferent to finding either of 2 types of men. The type they were attracted to, and the type they could use for money. Whichever they found first, that was who they stuck to. They'd sleep with him and go through all the motions of a girlfriend, when in reality, they just want the money. Some of them weren't really all that attracted to men any longer, they just wanted cash. These women knew that most guys would give them the boot, but not all would, and if they could just milk that guy endlessly until they figured it out, he'd been had. So it sounds like this woman just thought she could slide into your life, give you the girlfriend experience to hook you. Now she's turning the screws. I doubt it stops here.
Yikes. Okay. Maybe I don't give her the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, that's true, though. It just sounds like she did a really poor job of setting those expectations up front. And she's right, though. She doesn't want to waste any more time on this guy because he's not the sucker.
Right. Yeah, he's not the mark. All right. Good on you, OP, for not being the mark.
Moving on to the next one.
Our next bad girlfriend story is from RAITAH. Am I the asshole for selling my Taylor Swift tickets after my girlfriend cheated? This is 3 months ago, so this is when Taylor Swift tickets were a thing. A few months back, I, 27 male, won some money on stake and decided to surprise my girlfriend, 25 female, with Taylor Swift tickets for her Vancouver show. She's been a massive Swiftie since forever, and I knew this would mean the world to her. I spent around $800 for 2 really good seats. Last week, I discovered she'd been secretly meeting up with her work friend, quote unquote, for months. I found out because she accidentally left her Instagram DMs open on my laptop.
Rookie move.
She'd been using it to print something, and I saw weeks of flirty messages and plans to meet up. When I confronted her, she tried to deny it at first, but eventually admitted they'd kissed several times and had been having an emotional affair.
Yeah, I doubt they did all of that, but they did way more than that.
I was devastated. These tickets were meant to be a special experience for us, and I couldn't stomach the thought of taking her after this betrayal. Rather than let them go to waste, I decided to sell them. Given how insane the Taylor Swift ticket market is right now, I managed to sell them for $2,400, triple what I paid.
Get you that bag, boy.
Did it. When she found out I had sold the tickets, she completely lost it. She's been blowing up my phone, calling me petty and cruel, saying I ruined her dream and that the tickets were a gift, so they belonged to her. Her friends are also messaging me saying I'm an awful person for using the tickets to hurt her. I feel like I had every right to sell the tickets that I bought with my own money, especially after what she did, but she's making me feel like I took things too far. Am I the asshole?
Well, girlfriend fucked around and she found out.
She found out.
And I think this is... okay, Opie, not the asshole.
Right.
I think that the amount of emotional damage that the girlfriend put on the boyfriend is equivalent to the damage of finding out that she had really good seats to go to the Taylor Swift ticket in Vancouver, and then boom,
Then lost it.
Lost it.
For some other dude.
Here's a dose of your own medicine, sweetheart.
That she, quote unquote, kissed several times. Mm-hmm.
You ruined my dream by sticking your tongue in someone else's mouth.
Yikes. The comments are brutal here.
Oh, they're so great. Should have offered to sell him to her new boyfriend for $3,200.
Oh, snap. That is the move, though. No, I think I like I prefer the revenge over the extra. Yeah, $800.
Yeah, someone says, who gives a crap what a cheater and her gross friends think about you? Block and move on.
Yeah. You don't want anything to do with any of those friends anyway.
But, we went and saw 2 Taylor Swift shows. Mm-hmm. One in Kansas City, night 1, and then night 2. Night 1? Night 1 in Indianapolis.
Yeah. Night 1 in Indianapolis.
No, it was night 2. It was night 2.
Yeah, it was Saturday.
It was Saturday night. Anyway, and let me just tell you, if something had happened and we hadn't been able to go to that, I would have been devastated.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also not going to cheat on the person that has them in their Ticketmaster account.
And could you imagine taking this girl who had an affair on you to a concert?
No, because I don't. What is it? Sadism?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Masochist.
Not a masochist.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not a masochist. Right. I don't enjoy causing myself pain. I do it enough accidentally that I don't need to do it on purpose. So no, I'm not going to take somebody who hurt me to this once in a lifetime experience. Because like, I think back on the time that we had in Kansas City, and like that was incredible. That was easily one of the top like 5 experiences of my life.
Right.
And I'm really glad that we got to experience that together. Like part of the magic was being there with you.
Sure.
Oh. But it's true. And so like you bought this ticket for somebody that hurt you like that, that betrayed your trust. And yeah, no, they don't get a reward for that.
Right.
No.
I like this comment. We are never, ever, ever getting back together.
Yeah, you should have just told her to shake it off. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Yeah, no. OP should take his $2,400 and do something nice for himself.
Absolutely. Also, as a side note, what is steak?
I think it's the second time it's come up on the pod, right? I think it was part of something, Stake.us, the leading social casino, fun and free to play. Wow.
We do not condone gambling on this podcast.
This is not an advertisement for Stake.
And we,
if OP has won money on Stake, that means most of the people have lost money on Stake.
Yeah, so. We would not recommend online gambling of any kind.
Right. Yes. So
you think the odds are bad against you in house in the casino?
Yeah. But yes, this is the second time it's come up in a Reddit story. So yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Speaking of fascinating, we have a couple of guests lined up. We are working to get that
scheduled.
Yeah. Get those scheduled and get that in our pipeline. Right now, we are once again recording on a Wednesday before the pod releases on a Friday. So we're not doing a good job of getting out ahead of our release schedule. So we got to get better about that.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that maybe getting a few guests on, and maybe we'll line a couple of those up in some week, and then we have a bit of a backlog, as long as we don't then turn around and go immediately into procrastination because we have a backlog of episodes. It'll be great.
Yeah, I think that we'll probably have to pull a page from the old Fire Drill podcast playbook and just set aside a Saturday morning sometime and just record a couple in a row.
Just knock a few out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's smart. Nope. That is definitely what we'll have to do.
This ain't my first podcast.
Yep. No. Also, what would be extremely helpful from our listeners is if you see a story that you think would be great for our podcast, please send it to us either through email, put it on a comment. You can put it on our subreddit, linked on our webpage, firetakespod.com. That's the best place to go to find, make sure you're hitting our subreddit so you can submit them there too, and we'll find them. And we will give our takes on the stories you come across.
Give the hot takes on those interesting stories.
All right. We really appreciate you guys listening, and we will catch you again in a couple of weeks.
See you next time.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Fire Takes podcast. Wanted to remind you that this is an entertainment podcast. Glenn and I, not financial planners, just opinionated. There are many ways to reach us if you just go to firetakespod.com, including email, Instagram, Reddit, YouTube. You can hear more from Gwen at fierymillennials.com. Thanks for joining us. Bye.